My name is Jim Munson, and I'm the founder and president of the Brooklyn Roasting Company. We think that coffee is a means to an end as much as it is an end in itself. People in New York City use coffee to live their lives, so we associate ourselves with both the culture that it helps produce and the cultures that it comes from. It took me about 40 hours of actual travel time to get to the Aceh region in northwestern Sumatra. I went to Sumatra in order to visit one of the most important countries for the specialty coffee region. Sumatra in Indonesia is a giant archipelago and extends wider than the United States. It's comprised of 17,000 islands in some of the deepest water in the world. Fairtrade USA helped organize this trip, and we spent 10 days visiting cooperatives and farmers. The Brooklyn Roasting Company is focused on both best quality coffees and coffees that we can be proud of how we source. There's a lot of hard work done in producing countries that goes unnoticed by the people that appreciate the finer flavors of what they drink in our cafe. I had some big questions going into it. One of them is why Sumatran coffee has the character that it does, why all the coffee was so earthy and intense and low acidity, and I realized that that's because of the intense black volcanic soil. Also, they process the coffee in a very distinctive manner, a 3-stage drying process. They'll start out picking the red ripe cherries off the plants, drying it to about 38%. That's brought to the processing mill and stripped of the outside, the very outside skin of the coffee. Then it's sun-dried on big patios, and then finally it's shipped to a mill where it's dried to about 13%. That triple drying process, it's different than the way they process coffee in Ethiopia. It's certainly different than the way they process coffee in Central America. It's one of the great things about specialty coffee is that these differences are preserved actually in the beans and in the flavor of the coffee that you drink in cafes like ours. In Sumatra, we did probably 4 or 5 cuppings. Cupping is just a fancy term for tasting coffee in as controlled a set of circumstances as possible. You want to make sure that you know what you're buying. Cupping coffee is a process really of sniffing, slurping, and spitting the coffee and thinking about it while you do that. Since we started the business, one of the main focuses is to help poor coffee farmers. The fact is that most of the countries where coffee is grown, people are paid less than $2 or $3 a day. The coffee belt is some of the poorest country in the world. So we've always tried to purchase third-party certified coffees whenever possible. Fair trade in particular, though, where coffee farmers are actually paid a premium, has been a particular focus of the Brooklyn Roasting Company. People that need more money for medicine and food and education, that's important. So there is a difference between needing more money and wanting more money, and fair trade is a vehicle to recognizing that. We've been fortunate as a business to grow quickly and dramatically, but it's a crazy world, and coffee is one of those beverages that spans the world, and it's great to be able to see the complexity and the sort of comprehensive character of the world through the microcosm of coffee.